Sweden's mission is to support Swedish companies expanding their sales in Africa. We work very closely with the Embassy of Sweden, Team Sweden, and of course with our already established companies here in Africa, in Kenya. And of course, with a range of companies that are currently planning to enter the Kenya market. One such company, which established its presence here approximately 18 months ago, and is now in a highly interesting scaling phase, is Spowdi. Shortly, we will have the opportunity to learn more about their journey and what they're contributing with in East Africa in the market. But before that, I would like to take the opportunity to present today's moderator, Mr. Constantine from the logistics company Freight Forwarder Solutions, who will guide us through the agenda for the day. So over to you. Yeah, asante sana.
All right. Thank you, Madelene. A warm welcome to everyone. My name is Constantine. I represent Freight Forwarder Solutions. Today's focus, therefore, is on solutions that will help reverse this negative trend. We're going to hear concrete examples of models and approaches that have been already proven effective in addressing some of these challenges in the field. So with this introduction, it was with great honor that I hand over to our guest of honor, and I've practiced this all morning. Honorable His Excellency Ambassador Håkan Åkesson of the Embassy of Sweden in Nairobi. Mr. Ambassador, welcome.
Thank you very much, and the pronunciation was perfect. Distinguished guests, dear friends, good afternoon, and also from my part, a warm welcome to this launch and discussion on irrigation. Let me start with a simple observation. Irrigation has long been viewed as a development intervention, but today we are increasingly recognizing that it is something more. A scalable, investable opportunity. Across East Africa, agriculture remains the backbone of the economy. Yet it's highly exposed, and we all know that, to climate change. What we are discussing today is a shift from vulnerability to resilience, from subsistence to productivity. And Kenya really stands out in this transformation. With strong institutions, a dynamic private sector, and one of the most advanced digital ecosystems on the continent, this country offers ideal conditions for scaling up innovative solutions. In addition, Kenya is not only a market in itself, but a natural stepping stone for expansion across East Africa or beyond. And this brings me to the broader relationship between Sweden and Kenya. Our countries share more than 60 years of diplomatic relations built on trust, partnership, and a common commitment to sustainable development. Today, this relationship is evolving further. The recently signed Article 6 agreement, for example, on trading, on carbon trading between our two countries is a clear example of that. And only this morning, I had a discussion on that agreement with the Kenyan Cabinet Secretary of Environment. But we also see strong potential for deepened collaboration beyond this agreement in technology transfers, innovation, and investments. Increasingly, it is clear that the green transition is not only about climate, it's also about security. In a world of geopolitical tensions and volatile energy prices, and we certainly see that right now, reducing dependence on fossil fuels is fundamentally about independence, stability, and again, resilience. Building local sustainable systems whether in energy or in infrastructure, agriculture, is therefore not just a green agenda, but a strategic priority. And this is where initiatives like Spowdi come in. Spowdi is a strong example of Swedish ingenuity and entrepreneurship. It represents Sweden and the Swedish private sector in an excellent way. Many big Swedish companies are already active in Kenya, but Spowdi represents something new and additional, and innovative, scalable solutions tailored to local contexts and needs. We hope to see many more examples like this in the future, because ultimately today's discussion is not only about irrigation, it's about how we move from ideas to implementation by aligning policy, capital, and innovation, and by further strengthening, of course, our dear relations between Sweden and Kenya. I thank you.
Can you see me? Yeah, so thank you very much, Your Excellency, and then invited guests. My name is Engineer Vincent Kabuti. I'm the Irrigation Secretary from the State Department for Irrigation in the Ministry of Water, Sanitation and Irrigation. I see some very familiar faces. Karanja, I've worked with him for many years. I've seen Jose is here from International Water Management Institute. And I'm glad to be part of this conversation. That was a very good opening speech from the guest speaker. Let me start by saying that indeed, this is a very big conversation we're having in this country. And the head of state has come out clearly that we have to really invest in irrigation. A step back, I think we are coming from a point where we've gone like 4 or 5 cycles of drought in this country, and we've seen communities losing their livestock. And one of the philosophies we have as irrigation is that $1 invested in irrigation or a shilling invested in irrigation is a shilling invested in climate resilience, because it's these same communities that are suffering so much because of lack of water. When there are torrential rains, they again go through another kind of suffering because of water. So, but with irrigation, then you get to harvest this water, and then it's available for these communities during a drought period. As a ministry, we have gone through a process of really reorganizing and restructuring our approach to irrigation. And in March last year, we launched what we are calling a National Irrigation Sector Investment Plan. And this plan has 5 pathways. Has a farmer-led irrigation, focusing on your smallholder farmers, the 1-acre farmers. It's looking at farmers with 0.5 to 2 hectares. And these are major individual farmers. And this is one space that we have. There's a very huge potential, but we've not done so much on it. I'll come back to it. Then we have the second pathway is high-performing irrigation schemes. If you high-performing public irrigation schemes, we have 7 public irrigation schemes, and this is where we do production of our rice and staples. If any of you knows Mwea is the #1 public irrigation scheme, and then there's Bura, there's Hola, there's Bunyala, there's Ahero, West Kano, and Pekera. For Kenyans who did GHC those old days, those were the GHC schemes. And then we have the next one is corporate agribusiness, where we are looking at large commercial irrigation. And this is basically targeted on where we have huge tracts of land owned by government. And the idea is to bring on the private sector to develop this and grow crops. And we'll sign contracts either it could be for production for local consumption or for export. The next part is revitalizing irrigation in the ASAL areas, and there the biggest approach intervention is doing water harvesting and also exploring use of groundwater. And the idea is to see whether we can really do interventions that will serve those communities that are major pastoralists. So one of the ideas that we are piloting now, we actually have 2 pilots, one in Wajir County and the other one in Marsabit County, is doing some well-structured and organized feedlot systems. As the State Department for Irrigation, we are providing water. Livestock, we provide veterinary services. Cooperatives, we will organize the communities around there. And then water, we provide water for the various users. And then the State Department for Irrigation will also provide water for irrigation to irrigate fodder, so that in the event of drought, then these farmers, they have a place where they can sell their animals. And the idea is to have this feedlot operated by a private sector person, so that then they bring the animals, they sell, they go through a fattening process, and they are sold for farmers to make money. And then we see whether we can avert those huge losses that they normally incur. The last one is what we are calling maximizing community benefits, for community schemes benefits. We have about 3,600 smallhold community managed irrigation schemes spread all over the country, and they range from about 50 acres to up to about 4,000 or 5,000 acres. But they are largely managed by communities, established, developed, and managed by communities. They have their own challenges, and as a ministry, we want to focus on making sure that those ones perform. As far as this conversation is concerned, with scaling irrigation, as I mentioned, I'll go back to farmer-led irrigation. This is where we have the largest opportunity for these kind of solutions. And the target is to see, we carried out a farmer-led irrigation development diagnostics sometimes back in 2021. And the constraints that were identified was, one is information. This good information that Spowdi have, us as technical officers have, ministry, universities, most farmers do not have this information. Most farmers do not have this information. So information was one of the challenges. The other one was access to these technologies. There are people who are neighboring Nairobi, they can access these technologies, but farmers in Wajir, in Taita Taveta, in Turkana, they don't have access to these technologies. And then also access to finance. And out of this, now we are designing a farmer-led irrigation development program that will have a results-based financing framework where farmers will express interest. For companies like Spowdi, they can be able to identify all the farmers who are interested in doing this. And then the idea is also to try and bring down the cost of these equipments. Solar has been advocated as the best solution for these individual farmers. So I see Spowdi is in the better shape to take up this. And we're also working with financial institutions. I was telling the equity team that we are working on that program that will provide partial guarantees and first loss guarantees, so that they can be able to provide access of credit to our farmers. So there's a lot we are doing as a ministry, and maybe as we continue, we can have more and more discussions on how best Spowdi can leverage in these many programs that we are having. Thank you very much.
So there is indeed a lot of initiatives ongoing, but there's still definitely a lot of work that needs to be done. And next to speak is an entrepreneur, an inventor, a visionary, and a generally good person. Group CEO of the Swedish green tech company Spowdi, determined to transform small-scale farming into a great business opportunity in East Africa and beyond. So, Engineer Kabuti mentioned a few of these things, Henrik. So, what are your thoughts on two things? Why haven't things moved in the right direction at the speed we would like? And why are more smallholder farmers leaving their land more now compared to, let's say, 10 years ago? I'll give you the floor.
That's me. but I'm not here to show off myself. I'm here because I think we have a great opportunity, as the heading of this event says. Together, we have a great opportunity. So, Vince, Constantine, there's no short answer on that tricky question, but I can reflect on it in a short context. First of all, why are things not moving as we would like it to move in the speed that it should? More farmers are actually leaving than starting this food production industry. One answer to that is because perhaps they have not been presented with the right kind of toolkit. They have not reached out to them with the right kind of tools. That is one thing. And another thing that worries me, because I have been studying the root cause to why we are not actually going in the right direction, because I like food, so someone must bring it to me, someone must produce it, right? And there are more people, you know, in the world. We are growing as a population, but the food production is not. So that is a critical thing. So why is that? What has been done? I come from Sweden. I live in Sweden. I'm proud of that. And Sweden, as one of many countries, has been spending a lot of money to help out to solve these problems. Government, central, local, have done the same. So in our approach, we think a little bit different. We don't want to do what has been done for decades. We would like to do things that could be measured at once. So far, I believe a lot of money spent, but what's the return on the investment that could be measured? So that is a little bit of the background to Spowdi, meaning that like off-the-shelf technology that has been designed for something else is now entering into the landscape to help farmers. Technology designed for something else might not work in the environment where they are now placed. That is one thing. And another thing that has been part of the Spowdi engineering journey, not just inventing technology, we have also been looking at into the business model and the structure around that. And how does the value chain look like? If you have a factory producing things and that you have an end user last mile way off, how can we connect those two in a smart way? How does the value chain look like? Who is participating? What role do they have? What value do they add? If we continue to think in the direction of projects, I don't think anything positive will happen. We must change the mindset and the way we think. Farmers, they also need not just technology, they need services, they need guidance on how to use technology. They need help to change mindset when it comes to method on how to practice the farming in their field. And if they are successful and start to grow more, it's really important that they also are connected to the off-taker system, where they can sell their crops in a productive way, where they know what is the price. This is underserved today. So at Spowdi, we have adopted a very new approach. This approach is about having a fully integrated model that consists of technology designed for fit for purpose, distribution, financing, on top of that, data in one scalable ecosystem. That is what we have been working on to try to figure out how to do this so it will work in practice also here in Kenya. This model that we are introducing together with our partners is based on 100% commercial terms. What will happen if someone along the value chain needs grants for their part and play their role if the grant is no more? We have seen what happened when they closed down USAID and others. we are having the same situation in Sweden, routing money in different ways. What will happen if someone before you in the value chain is depending on that money? Everything will stop. So we provide state-of-the-art technology, I would say. We have been spending 7 years to figure out how things should work from a technology point of view for the specific end user that we are targeting. We provide services and connectivity to the food supply chain, the off-taker system. And what's new in this is that we do it in an irrigation-as-a-service model. We do it in a service model. We are not selling, no upfront. We are not selling. There's no need to go to the banks. I know we have banks here, because that might not end up well because they don't have any collaterals. So we are servicing the farmers in an irrigation-as-a-service model. What does that mean? Well, there's no barrier for the farmer to enter, but no one can enter if there is no commitment taken from the farmer. There is one box with technology and services, and there's an envelope with a contract. In that contract, farmer must play their role and responsibility to follow the 18-month journey that we have structured for them based on their present situation. Every farmer that would like to be part of that are so welcome to be part of it. The expected outcome after this 18 months is not less CO2. Sorry, but it will be less CO2 because we are using solar. It's more money for the farmer. And that money will be enough money to pay for the whole value chain to reach the farmer. That is the irrigation service model that we are now launching here in Kenya and elsewhere. This model has already been proven, and that's why I'm standing here. That's why I've called you in. It's proven, it's scaling now, but we need to embrace the challenges in a wider forum. And that is the purpose of this session. So with this, I would like you to meet some of the farmers that is already in practice.
Across the fertile lands of Naramoru and Timau, farming is more than a way of life. It is the heartbeat of families, the lifeline of communities, and the hope for a secure tomorrow. But in recent years, farmers here, like many around the world, have faced growing challenges.
Mvua inakuja mara mbili kwa mwaka, lakini ni mvua kidogo sana, si mvua nyingi ambayo inaweza tegemea sana. Mimea inamea halafu kabla ikue inakauka.
Spowdi has introduced a solution designed for smallholder farmers, a solar-powered water distribution system that requires no fuel, no electricity, and only the sun as its energy source.
Nilikuwa natumia almost 1000 per day, lakini hii wakati ilikuja Spowdi natumia tu jua, hakuna kitu inani cost. Naona hiyo ni at least. Jua hakuna pesa natumia hata kidogo.
Ukiangalia shamba tuna viazi, na hivi viazi vimetoa maua. Kwa hivyo ni kumaanisha ya kwamba ni baada ya wiki mbili nitakuwa nakula, na situmii pesa, ni jua tu. Kwa hivyo imenisaidia sana.
This innovation is now reaching farmers in Kenya, helping them grow more food while using significantly less water.
Mimi ni mkulima wa viazi. Mbeleni nilikuwa nalima kutumia maji ya irrigation, lakini ilikuwa na shida sana. La juu ilikuwa inakuja siku moja kwa wiki. Yani huko unaweza kulima vizuri, lakini wakati Spowdi ilikuja iliweza kusaidia juu ukiweka maji kwa dam unatumia maji kidogo tu.
Farmers depended on expensive, time-consuming methods of irrigation until Spowdi changed everything.
Tangu nipate hii Spowdi nimelima viazi na ikatoa vizuri. Alafu nikalima kitunguu nayo ikafanya vizuri. Saa mara ya 3 niliweka kwa mahindi. Nayo ukikompea na zile zingine, hizo zilikuwa tofauti kabisa. Zilikuwa sawa.
Wakati unatumia Spowdi na unatumia drip irrigation, hii maneno ya kuamka usiku kubadilisha maji, saa nyingine hakuna maji, hiyo saa imekuwa shida, na hapa ni mahali ya baridi sana. Na wakati hii drip irrigation ambayo inaweka maji kwa mimea, inaweka exactly mahali mmea uko. Kwa hivyo hii maneno ya wedding kuwa ukilimalima kila wakati hiyo haiko.
For many farmers, what stands out most about Spowdi is its simplicity. From installation to daily use, the solar-powered system fits seamlessly into their routine. No fuel, no complicated wiring.
Hiyo ya generator ilikuwa inabidi ni bebe ma hosepipe, ma sprinkler kama 6 hivi, lakini hii ni machine tu unatoa kwa nyumba, unakuja una connect na inaanza kuweka maji.
Ukiconnect tu, shauri sasa ile hata vitu ya kuconnect, it is labeled. Utaigiza wapi. Haya tena ukiweka kwa maji, ukiweka sushi ile ya mbele, hii ya pili tu ni kuweka sushi inaanza kupiga maji. Kwa hivyo unaona hata mama anatumia, wale vijana wako hapa wanatumia, hata wale watoto wiko kwa primary school. Ukimwambia aenda afungulie tu, ni kufungulia tu mara moja. Kwa hivyo kutumia, katika maneno ya kutumia ni rahisi. Na uwezi ogopa. Si kama ile sasa unaweza ogopa stima, hata ukituma mtoto inaweza piga haya short. Hii hapana.
Haitaji ati masomo ama nini. Ni teknolojia rahisi sana. Hata ukija ufunze watoto wako, hata wao pia watakuja kuingia kwa hii mradi na wanyunyuzie shamba na wabebe sola na hiyo vitu ingine, na iwe rahisi kubeba, na mambo ya security hiwezi ibiwa kwa sababu huwezi wacha huko. Unatoa kwa nyumba, unanyunyusia shamba, jioni unarudisha kwa nyumba.
The Spowdi drip lines are built to last, designed to withstand tough field conditions while delivering consistent water flow to every plant.
Hapo bereni nilikuwa natumia drips zingine, lakini nilikuja kugundua wakati walikuja na wakaniwekea 25 lines of drips, nimesitumia. Hizi zingine zimekuwa na changamoto, lakini nimekuja kugundua hizi za Spowdi siko sawa kabisa kuliko hata hizi zingine.
Beyond saving water and energy, farmers have discovered another powerful advantage of the Spowdi drip system: more cleaner farms. By delivering water directly to the roots, Spowdi minimizes surface moisture, reducing the growth of weeds that compete with crops for nutrients.
The cost of production iko chini sababu hakuna kwekwe, na hii mambo ya madawa sijatumia sana, na kuwa na hifadhi maji.
Hiyo maji inaenda direct kwa mmea na hakuna kwekwe kwa shamba.
Farmers who once struggled to keep their crops alive are now harvesting healthier yields with less effort and lower costs.
Kulima na Spowdi inaonekana kama ina mazao zaidi kuliko ile ya kulima na ile overhead. Ile overhead hata ukiweka unaona maji haimwagiki evenly, unakuta mahali kuna mahali ya kupata maji. Sasa unaona, na ukibadilisha mara 2 mara 3 unapata sehemu zingine shauri ya upepo. Hapa ni mahali ya upepo. Unakuta hiyo upepo inasukuma ile maji ya sprinkling. Pale inawashwa bila maji. Kwa hivyo hata ile shamba unakuta ndio ulipanda yote, lakini katika kufuna kuna sehemu ambayo haina kitu.
The story of Spowdi is spreading fast. Neighbors and fellow farmers are watching with curiosity and hope as they see crops thrive under the power of the Sunday.
Wakulima wengi ambao wamekuja kutembelea hili shamba kwa sababu unavyoona katika area hii unaweza tembea kilomita 4 bila kupata mahali ingine kuna mboga. Kwa hivyo kila mtu ambaye ako area hii anakuwa attracted kuja kununua, kusoma.
Those already using Spowdi speak of a new confidence, a future where every season can bring a dependable harvest. They dream of expanding their farms, planting more.
Nikipata drips kama za eka moja, naweza eka eka moja nilime nayo.
No, sasa ile nimelima kitu ambao ni kitu kukota about 1/8. Na inaonekana hii mtambo inaweza fanya kazi kama eka moja. So what I'm only supposed to do ni kuwa nikiongeza the other drip whatever hiyo system iwe kama inalima kama tuseme hata kama ni eka moja ama 3/4 of an acre.
Sasa matarajio yangu niweke hii chamba yangu yote hii mambo ya drip line za Spowdi, halafu nikimalizia nianze kuita marafiki wakuja hapa niwapatie masomo, hata wao pia waingie kwa huu mradi, kwa vile nimeona huu mradi unaweza saidia hata wakati wowote mtu anahitaji.
But to make this transformation reach every corner, collaboration is key. Farmers are calling for support from government, development partners, and the private sector to make this green technology more accessible and affordable. With the right investment, the Spowdi model could empower thousands more smallholders, turning sunlight and water efficiency into lasting food security for all. From Nairobi to Timau, and from Kenya to the world, Spowdi is showing that farming can be sustainable, affordable, and abundant, powered only by the sun. With Spowdi, we are farming the future.
I see something like that and I just think that it's probably one of the best innovations that we've seen in the country in the last 10-15 years. So I hope that this comes part of the lexicon of not just Kenyan farmers but I like also investors, people that do benefit from this kind of thing. However, Henrik is very big on this ecosystem that we're building around Spowdi. So as part of this ecosystem, FFS is part of it. We're doing a logistics part, but I'm sure there's a lot more to be done. So I'm going to put you on the spot again, Henrik. What do you think is more that's needed? Okay.
Oh, thank you. It's lots of Spowdi. It's Spowdi, but the thing is, Spowdi is one part of it. This is technology. We have an idea. We have a concept. Nothing will happen. We can't generate a permanent transformation in scale if we believe that what we see on the screen will do it for us. We must engage in clusters. We must build bridges. We must work together. A farmer that has right technology, they know they can grow more, but they will not do that if they not have access to right inputs. And if they do, and some guidance on how to use that, they produce much more food, but no one to sell it to. So waste of time, money, and food. So from our end at Spowdi, we do understand to closing the circle around the farmer and the farming communities, we must build alliances. Alliances that are determined to face the fact that food on the table is quite nice to have, right? Nothing comes for free. So I have brought in some people into this event today. No, I have brought in some great people and partners for the smart farming journey that we are now launching in Kenya. Without them, nothing will happen. I'm extremely proud to, within a short time frame, building alliances of trust and with ambition and passion. One of these persons made a strong impression for me the first second I met her. Her name is Margaret, is here, and I would like you to share a little bit what you are doing with your company, Mace Foods, and we are doing things together. So I'm very pleased to present Margaret.
Distinguished guests, in about 7 minutes or thereabout, I want to tell you why I'm here, who I am, and why I'm very excited to be part of this smart farming journey. When I first met Henrik, I was thinking, what's the meaning of Spowdi? The name Spowdi. But I knew it was about water because I saw a little drop just beside the logo. And I knew we are discussing the right thing together. I'm here because I see an opportunity for us to address several issues. There's nothing as powerful as security, whether it's security for your house, security for your goods, but this time we're talking about security for water. And it's really critical because nobody really thinks about it as making it secure. We're talking about productivity. My business has been critically oversold for the last 12 years. That means we have the market, but we don't have the produce. And thirdly, sustainable use of natural resources. Sounds very scientific, right? Yesterday, fuel increased by 40 bob. If the farmers were using diesel-powered generators, it means production has stopped. As simple as that. That's what we want to create here, a way to make it sustainable. So why Spowdi and why Mace Foods? There's something that Mace Foods is bringing and there's something that Spowdi is bringing. And somehow we found a perfect fit for each other because they're bringing the technology. You've seen it. It's really classy. It's very nice. It looks like a little suitcase. It's not so bulky and, a hexagonal like the rest that we see. The Irrigation-as-a-Service itself, but it's not the first time it's been done in Kenya, but it's being done uniquely. And the whole framework of smart farming. But what is Mace Foods bringing? We're bringing in the farmer engagement. I'll explain to you because of how we do and how we work our business model and the field operations and the access to the farmers themselves, because I don't think Spowdi walking around can just find the farmers on their own. And we will be part of the implementing partners. So who is Mace Foods? Apart from me, I'm the CEO and founder of Mace Foods. I founded Mace Foods over 18 years ago. We're a food agro-processing company. We're based in Eldoret, Kenya. We are the largest exporter of dried chilies for food and pharmaceutical industry. We source raw materials from over 5,000 farmers in Kenya and up to 2,000 in Tanzania and Uganda. So we have a very strong presence in the field. We have a very specialized product. We work directly with smallholder farmers because the products we produce are labor intensive and need farmers that work in small acreages so that we can bulk the volumes. We were discussing with Karanja here about this technology, and we were thinking, how are we going to get the buy-in of the farmers to be able to just pay for the technology and use it? And it's like selling insurance. For those who are Kenyans, that's one of the most difficult things to sell. But it's the best thing that ever happened to anybody. The day you have a problem, you're going to say, thank God I had insurance. I want to look at this technology the same way. And so we are determined to sell this technology to the farmers using the same analogy and create a long farmer engagement. We've encountered a high turnover of farmers where this season they're doing for us chilies. The next season they've removed everything, they're doing onions. You go the next season, they've built a mushroom house, and we're thinking, why is it not that the farmers are thinking of producing the same crop over and over again? We hope through this smart farming we'll be able to achieve that. So we'll identify the farmers, we'll verify them, we'll create the service agreements together with Spowdi and the other partners, install, check on quality assurance, and then we continue to give them support. I see this as a long-term commercial viability because the equipment stays with the farmer and is able to provide them with the service over a long period of time. We have a contract that is existing that will allow us to work together, and we will measure the performance over the years, because also for us as Mace Foods, we want to increase the yield. We want to see that the yield of the farmers is increased. I see this also as sustainable because it's bringing multi-partners into the project. It's not only us alone or Spowdi alone or us and Spowdi. So we have other partners that are playing into the field, especially like the financial part. And of course, I'm happy to see engineer here. The government is here. Yeah. It matters because we are innovating something new, and I'm very determined. I was telling Henrik, I want to start immediately. I want to go running with this thing because I believe in it so much. I believe that it's something that can work. I've seen many irrigation models, but I haven't seen something so innovative. So we are committed to partner. We are going to be working together responsibly, and we want to create impact. Thank you.
So next that I would like to introduce is also, I must tell the story behind it. I was part of Equity having a trade and roadshow. I was invited to Equity trade and roadshow. And it was in the upper hill here in Radisson Blue, right? And I was introduced to a company, Mazao Group, you know, mingling. And that was in November, I believe. So last time I was here in January, I visit Peter and his team up in Nyeri region. Yeah. And where? Oh, there's so many names. I'm from Uppsala in Sweden. So we have now established an education and training center where the technology is managed by this great company. And they are fulfilling a very important role in closing the circle. I will not tell the story because I think Peter can do it much better. But without right inputs, without guidance on how to use that, without planning, proper planning, it will fail, even though if you have great technology. So that's why, Peter, come and tell us who you are and what you do. I believe most of the people here in Kenya know already, but we have audience online also.
Your Excellency, the Ambassador, my good friend, Engineer Kabuti, the CEO, Spowdi, my invited guests, good afternoon. My name is Peter Karanja, Ndungu. I'm the director of Mazao Group. And Mazao Group is a group of companies that deal entirely with the agricultural ecosystem. We are squarely in the agricultural ecosystem. And as the name suggests, Mazao means production and reproduction. We are about 5 companies in Mazao. The mother company is Mazao na Afya Limited, and it does the work of distribution of agro inputs and offering agronomic services to our farmers. We are present in many areas. We are in Mwea. We are also in Nairobi, around Kamaki's area. We are in Kajiado, in Loitoktok. We're in Marindi. We are in Bura, that is in Tana River County. We're also in Marigat, Barigo County. We're also in, recently, we set base in Nakuru. We have been serving farmers for the last 30 years, and it pains me a lot to see how our farmers suffer. Me, as the director of Mazao na Afya, I've actually been able to grow. But when it comes to the farmer, I really empathize with the farmer, because the farmer that I used to serve maybe 30 years ago is still in the same position 30 years later. And it is really, really painful to see that our farmers are not advancing. As the business people, we are growing, but the farmer is still toiling. And therefore, it is really, really important to ask ourselves what is really happening. I've actually mentioned only one company. The other companies are, we also have another company called Agri Center Limited, a company that imports agro inputs. Then we have another unit called Agitech Seedlings that serves the farmer in terms of propagation. Recently, we launched another entity called Mazao na Afya Sacco, all in the event of trying to serve the farmer. Because the motto of Mazao is to serve the farmer in a 360-degree manner. But in our quest to really serve this particular farmer, we find a lot of challenges. And one of the major challenges that has actually arisen is the aspect of global warming and climate change. Sometimes back, we could actually rely on the rain to be able to do a crop. Nowadays, it's actually guesswork. Relying on the rain is actually guesswork because the rains have become unreliable, not enough, unpredictable, and you don't even know when the rains are going to come. So this actually poses a serious challenge to our farmers, and the only way is irrigation. Unfortunately, we are talking about the farmer who is quite disadvantaged because they don't have resources to put or to be able to purchase the necessary infrastructure to be able to do the farming. So I consider Spowdi to be a savior because they came in at the right time. You came in at the right time, and we are really going to do a lot of justice to our farmers. We are going to save and help our farmers a great deal. Because when you offer this particular technology as a service, you are already removing the aspect of the seed capital that the farmer might require to invest for an irrigation system. And if it is well implemented with the partnerships that you have come up with, this definitely is going to work. So one of the reasons that makes the farmer not succeed, in fact, there are several. And the question is, why is the small-scale farmer not able to advance? There are several reasons. One is finance. And finance is being taken care of by the financial sector. But the farmer still remains disadvantaged because he's actually considered as a very, very risky person. Because you cannot put your money in a place where you actually, you are not sure that you are going to get it back. Because if a calamity strikes the farmer, they don't harvest anything. So you are also lost the money. The other aspect that affects the farmer is technology and poor agronomic practices. Farmers want to farm. They invest, but they lack the technology and the agronomic practices to be able to produce a profitable crop. Mazao has a very wide network of agronomists that are serving in the whole region, or in all the areas that we serve. And therefore, we can be able to advise the farmer after now they adopt the Spowdi technology. Because we need to make sure that the farmer produces a profitable crop for them to be able to continue. And this can only happen when people meet together, they join together. Spowdi provides the technology, Mazao provides the inputs and the agronomic advice. Mace Food provides the market. The whole circle is complete. And we have actually served the farmer in a 360-degree manner, which is the slogan of Mazao na Afya. So I'm very, very, very happy today to be part of this particular engagement. And I hope this particular engagement is going to work and work perfectly. Asante sana.
What can I say now? Well, I can say something. Closing the circle, as we already talked about, is not just about technology. I think we can agree on that. It's about much more than that. When scaling any kind of businesses, working capital and networking over borders, industries, of course, extremely important. While building Spowdi, I have been focusing very much of my time on financing. I have been in meetings with global organizations, with private banking, with government banking, with SACCOs, with microfinance institutions, you name it, to learn on how they see the future within the food production, so that we know on how to build our pitch to them So they will open their wallet and do investments. It's as easy as that. No, it's a very tough fight. It's much easier to talk to the farmers, I would say. But I met with Equity Bank, and I consider Equity Bank to be a front runner. It was very easy to talk to them. They are on the field. They were the one that introduced me to Peter. So I believe that having a close relationship with the banking system, with the financing system, is of extreme importance. And that's why when we talk about closing the circle, we will never ever be capable to do that if we don't join hands with the banking and financing sector. So I think it is with a great pleasure now to introduce Equity Bank and Patricia to tell a little bit on your work in Equity Bank and what we're going to do together.
Good afternoon, and thank you so much, Henrik, for this lovely introduction. Your Excellency, good afternoon. Engineer Kabuti, good to see you again, and distinguished partners and guests here in the room. Thank you for having us here today. My name is Patricia Jannack, and I'm the international and German trade desk manager at Equity Group. As part of the global affairs team, I work closely with our group CEO, Dr. James Mwangi, on international business cooperation between Europe and East Africa. And our partnership with Spowdi started last year, actually, while we were preparing for a webinar on irrigation. We identified panelists who bring innovative and practical irrigation solutions to the table. And in that process, we came across the Swedish company, Spowdi. And what immediately stood out was not just the technology itself, but also the practicality and the clear impact it had on smallholder farmers, as we've already mentioned today, including its simplicity and design of a suitcase. I like that comparison. I actually remember having coffee with Grace here in this building when we were just getting to know each other. And we very quickly noticed that our strategies align very well. Because it's not just a project, it's a solution built for the realities for our farmers. And this is the kind of partnership that reflects our global strategy. It's called the Africa Recovery and Resilience Plan. I will share with you this presentation later on, and I also have further brochures on it. But before I explain the strategy, allow me to share who we are as Equity Bank, because our story matters for understanding why this partnership is so crucial for us. Equity Group was founded in 1984 as a building society, and it's been regarded as a farmers' bank. Our clients include smallholder farmers, rural village communities, and the people that every other bank had turned their back on back then. We were the first bank in this region to open accounts for smallholder farmers. So we built trust in areas where formal financial institutions had never set foot. The trust that we earned over the decades is now our most valuable asset. Today, Equity Group operates across 6 countries. It's Kenya, Rwanda, Tanzania, Uganda, South Sudan, the Democratic Republic of Congo, and we also have a representative office in Ethiopia and in the UAE. We are an ecosystem that is redefining what a Pan-African financial institution can achieve. And that ecosystem exists because we understand that transforming lives through financial access and inclusion requires the whole value chains. As we've been talking a lot about ecosystems today, so are we. And this is what drives our Africa Recovery and Resilience Plan, our strategic framework for catalyzing real, lasting economic transformation across the continent. The ARP is built on the recognition that Africa's smallholder farmers, by the way, 500 million farmers, of the who produce 30% of the world's food supply, that these farmers are sitting on enormous untapped potential. The missing infrastructure around them, including financing, technology, markets, and training, that is the challenge, and that is what we are working to solve. Now, let me talk about Spowdi, because this is why we are here today. You heard a lot, but let me also show that I did my homework right. What Spowdi has built is quite remarkable. Your solar-powered drip irrigation system increases crop yields by 300%, and it cuts water usage by 80%. It saves farmers over 4 hours of manual labor, and it produces 0 emissions. It runs entirely on sunlight. There's no diesel, no petrol, no recurring fuel costs, eating into already thin margins, which becomes even more important in global crises as we are experiencing them right now. But here is what I actually found most compelling. Spowdi's model is not just a project. As we mentioned, it's a business. It's a journey designed so that a farmer starts small, sees results, builds confidence, and grows. From a starter kit to a full acre irrigation, to diversified crops, to becoming a community champion that sells to their neighbors. It's a self-sustaining model, and that's what we need in Africa. The alignment between Spowdi and Equity Group is not just a coincidence, it's structural. Spowdi brings the technology, the training, infrastructure, through the Spowdi Academy, also the training, the deployment and the data layer. While we at Equity Bank, we bring the farmer relationships, the banking infrastructure, mobile channels, agent networks, and financial products to make adoption possible at scale. We are currently exploring end-user financing for the irrigation systems, group-based lending structures, crop insurance, and weather-indexed risk products. We also support with market linkage solutions that connect irrigated farmers to formal buyers and value chains. Because there's no point of tripling the farmer's yield when then there's nowhere to sell it to. And one of these ways of how we create market solutions, market linkages, Henrik already mentioned, we organize trade missions, we organize webinars for our partners to meet each other. The Kenya pilot data already tells a compelling story. In comparison, farmers using Spowdi systems consistently outperform their own traditional irrigation plots, not by just a small margin, but dramatically. So, and that's life-changing money. I also want to speak to our Swedish partners today, the Swedish Embassy and the Business Sweden. Sweden has long been a global leader in sustainable development and in climate finance. And what we see here today is a working model validated in the field with over 1,000 systems deployed. And Equity Bank is ready to be the financial and ecosystem partner that unlocks scaling in Kenya, but also across East Africa. We are very much interested in exploring joint trade missions and webinars that connect Swedish innovation with African markets and structured engagements that can bring more solutions like Spowdi into contact with the farmers' ecosystem that we've been building for 30 years. So I very much invite you to join our trade missions and talk to you later. And finally, I also like to address the Kenyan farmers and the representatives of Kenyan farmers. I want to say that Equity was built by you and also for you. Equity does everything in service of one goal, ensuring that the person working the land is actually the one who benefits most from what the land produces. We are proud to be walking this journey with Spowdi today and in the future, and we are proud to be doing it here in Kenya, where 5 million smallholder farmers produce over 75% of the country's food and deserve every tool and every shilling of support we can bring to their farms. Asanteni sana.
I'm going to introduce Dr. Nicholas Brozovik. This person is a very unique person. He represents what's called Water for Food, University of Nebraska. But he also represents a huge opportunity of other stakeholders that we would like to bring in on this journey. So we have been working with Nicholas and his team on fine-tuning our irrigation-as-a-service model. Instead of going to the farmer asking for a lot of money in upfront payment, we are doing it as a service that could be subscribed with a fee for the farmer as they go. That's a big difference. And Dr. Nicholas here is also a professor in agriculture financing. So he couldn't be here. He's in a completely different time zone, but we will have the honor to meet him on a video.
Mr. Ambassador, distinguished guests, thank you for your attendance at this event. While I'm unable to be with you in person, I'm happy to offer my thoughts on investment opportunities around irrigation in East Africa. My name is Nick Brozovik. I'm the Director of Policy at the Doherty Water for Food Global Institute. I'm also a Professor of Agricultural Economics at the University of Nebraska. Our institute's mission is to improve food and water security globally. We work towards our goals through research, education, and engagement activities. We're recognized for our leadership in advancing profitable and sustainable water management practices globally. In particular, we're committed to fostering innovation around irrigation. This includes building collaborations that benefit smallholder farmers with a variety of private and public sector enterprises. Within sub-Saharan Africa, much of our current work is funded by a grant from the Gates Foundation. Today's event focuses on Spowdi, a Swedish company that is one of the pioneers of Irrigation-as-a-Service. I'll start with an explanation. Irrigation-as-a-Service includes approaches that provide water for agriculture without farmers' equipment ownership. To make this arrangement profitable and sustainable for all parties involved, both technological and financial innovations are needed. More generally, Irrigation-as-a-Service is a type of asset-as-a-service system. Asset-as-a-service business models are common for operating commercial aircraft and vehicle fleets. We also see them for some kinds of industrial and construction equipment. However, they are not yet widespread in agriculture. Why would a farmer want to have irrigation equipment that they do not own on their farm? There are several advantages of a service-based approach over a sales-based approach for irrigation equipment. First, Irrigation-as-a-Service offers a level of reliability that is critical to farmers who wish to grow high-value crops. For many farmers who irrigate, pump breakdown represents a large risk. Interrupting water availability mid-season can lead to catastrophic losses. Equipment repairs may be hard to get done fast. Mid-season repairs also tend to be very expensive. As part of Irrigation-as-a-Service business models, service providers guarantee a reliable water source throughout the growing season. When executed well, this removes concerns related to breakdowns, security, and in some cases, even irrigation decision-making. Second, Irrigation-as-a-Service provides access to irrigation for farmers who do not have enough capital or cannot get credit to purchase their own equipment. This includes many smallholder farmers, of course. Often, the most expensive part of farming infrastructure is irrigation equipment. The pumps, pipes, hoses, valves, and fittings that are critical to growing high-value crops. So shifting from an equipment purchase to an equipment leasing framework has multiple advantages for farmers. As I mentioned already, this shift reduces upfront capital needs. Paying for irrigation services on an ongoing basis also clarifies the relationship between the value generated from irrigation and the price paid for irrigation access. This is very important in helping farmers to understand how to continue improving their land management and finances. On the other hand, why would an irrigation equipment manufacturer such as Spowdi want to consider irrigation-as-a-service? First, an irrigation-as-a-service business model offers opportunities to engage with strategic partners differently to a typical sales pipeline. Customer acquisition and building distribution channels is one of the hardest things for any new market entrant to do. Irrigation-as-a-Service companies can partner with others in agricultural value chains, such as off-takers and integrators, in a way that they can't easily do when they're operating in a sales model. Such partnerships offer advantages to all partners concerned. This includes negotiating contracts on a wholesale basis rather than on a retail basis. Here again, moving to an ongoing service model should make conversations about the value created for each partner more straightforward than with a sales model. I'll note that several of Spowdi's strategic partners are present at the event today. Second, managing a fleet of irrigation equipment improves a company's ability to collect detailed data streams on system operations. Over time, analyzing such data should improve efficiency and create opportunities for new revenue streams. Taken together, the combination of channel distribution advantages and business intelligence advantages improves the unit economics of irrigation-as-a-service in comparison to equipment sales models. We're excited that the Doherty Water for Food Global Institute is collaborating with Spowdi and its partners in Kenya. We're certain that our joint learning about irrigation-as-a-service will support further scaling and investment in irrigated agriculture in the region. Thank you for your time today. Please do reach out to me in person if you have any questions, and I look forward to meeting some of you in person in the near future.
So let's continue where Nicholas ended. He said that we must have control of what we do by having data in front of us. This is actually one of my favorite topics. I was working with big data, IoT, and AI before anyone talked about AI. That was my specialities like 10, 15 years ago. And with that knowledge on importance of big data, I brought it into this company also. So what we do in this model, we connect what is ongoing in the field, what is happening in the cloud, what is happening along the value chain by collecting different kind of footprint data. We also collect open source data and we collect business data. That combined goes into a big, let's say, brain that analyzes this data. What is happening? Within this brain, we have built already a digital value chain. Each farmer that is onboarded is part of being a digital twin in this engine of data, which means if you have something that is best practice and then you gather data in real time and combine that, compare it, you will find patterns. This is not the right signal that is coming, so we can be proactive on that. So we have spent a lot of time on this in Spowdi. But again, you can't do everything by yourself. So we have been teaming up with another engineering company on this specific topic. The company name is Youmoni. And now we are launching this in Kenya, where farmers can talk digitally with the system. We can talk with the farmer's system digitally. We can collect data. We can show data on a dashboard, and we can follow the progress for each individual farmer. So now we are going to test if this will work. Johan sits in Stockholm, and I will hand over to him, so he will show you the real thing. So hope the technology is with us. I think he's ready. I give the word to Johan.
Thanks, Henrik, for the introduction. And I'm Johan Edgren, the CEO of Youmoni in Sweden. So I'm really proud and I'm happy to be part of this community that can make a change with this water irrigation system as a service. and make a change for farmers and the local communities that works with our food production. We are a Swedish IoT and AI company, and what we do is connect products. We're also a European cloud company, and we are powered with CO2 neutral energy as well. So that's also part of this community of making everything good for our common environment. And for Spowdi, we provide the platform that makes connectivity possible, the sensors and hardware that can be used within the products. And we also provide the data and AI platform, the dashboards for off-takers and partners that is connected to this community, and also the farmer's app, the app that can make the farmer to be connected to the community, but also that makes him connected to his product, his local irrigation system. So what I want to show you now is actually a live demo of the system. So what you see here on the screen, hopefully you see this, it's the connected systems here locally in Kenya. You see everything on the world map. And this is actually individual irrigation systems. When it's green, everything is okay. So all the off-takers and the partners can see the status of the systems. It's also generate data for banks and governments and so forth. They can see that, yes, our water system is expanding through the regions and it works well. It also provides a digital overview of everything, the partners, all the pumps available, notifications, okay, is there anything that is needed to be taken care of in the community as a service? We will provide it online everywhere. Is there any service requests for any farmer or any off-taker that needs help? Everything is provided through this cloud in real time. What I can do is actually to narrow down to individuals. So I can go walk through this close to Nairobi, and I can look at this one. It's John's farm. And I can actually see that in real time, this system, this irrigation system is online and connected a few seconds ago, connected via the cellular phone networks provided by the local mobile phone companies. So I can click on this view and I actually see the data view of John's equipment. And I can see a lot of data. I can see the solar panel voltage, is it okay? How is the water flow? How much water has it dispensed? The calculation of CO2 saved because it's not using diesel power, it's instead using the solar power. The temperatures, all the things that he needs to know, and the off-takers and the central service organization, does it really work well? It is a service, and that's why this data is so crucial to have for the service organization as well. What else I can see? Yeah, of course, can see the location of the system as I clicked on it. But I can also see more information about John's farms, maybe how it's installed, and the service organization's pictures of the last changes of the installation. We can see John's notifications, what he has actually got in his phone to help him out maybe with more things. We can see here that his solar panel voltage is low and the compressor's RPM is low. So maybe we need to go out and help him to change how the solar panel is located, or you look at the tubes. We can also see a timeline of how it's worked over time to also gather data for better improvements and better service for this system. We can also see John's service requests. If he needs help with something, yes, I want to have a problem with my pump, I need help. So everything is gathered into this cloud. What's more important is that, as we have talked about a lot here today, and Henrik, it's a connectivity between all the partners in this ecosystem. So I also have a partner view, and I can drill down this partner view in different regions We're in Kenya now. We have been presented with Mace food. So Mace get a digital ecosystem of their connected farmers. So I can also walk through this view and then click on John and see more details about John that John has provided to the digital ecosystem about his farm, the farm area, maybe what is growing, and what kind of equipment he has from Spowdi. Also, he can provide pictures with his mobile phone, so you get live, more real data of how it actually looks like on his farm. Also see sensors and notification in this view, and also providing with more information and manuals, giving help. So if I upload manuals, you can do this instead, or tips and tricks from the data system and AI system in the future. If you do this instead, you will grow more, 50% more of this specific seed. So this is a very fast overview. Of course, I can see all the pumps and other things in the system. But now I also want to show how the farmer can get control in his hands by using the app. So I hope technology is with us as well. And the app is the tool that the farmer gets in his hand. And the app is provided for mobile phones. And the app gives an overview also for John. So this is the Spowdi app for a farmer. He can see his systems online. If he's in the village or somewhere else, he can see that the solar power is okay, his battery is charged, everything is running smoothly. And you can also see that it's has been the running hours of the system, the local environment and temperature, and also some of the other environmental data. So that's the very simple overview. The thing here is actually that he's also in control of his system. So I can have a local system here. I hope you see the Spowdi unit. And if I just also press this button, I actually start my Spowdi system via my app. So I can start and stop my system and also control other parameters of it. I will shut it down due to the noise, of course. But in this, you can see that it's connected in two ways. So a lot of things can be very manageable here. What else? You get a map of the unit. If I have several units as a farmer, I can see all my units, and I can just press on one unit to see, okay, how it is running for the moment. I can also see statistics. Look, how has my unit been running the last 24 hours, and get these data myself. CO2 saved, temperatures, and total runtime, compressor status, and so forth. Here it also will display when we have more data. Okay, you need a service within a couple of days or weeks and so forth, and we have booked it and scheduled it for you. What else is most important to drive this community is also to get the data from the farmers. So the system gets input, the farmer can change things themselves about where they are, their locations, if they have approved contracts with Spowdi or other local partners. So it's also business driven and information driven in that sense, in that perspective. If I also will, the last things is that we also will work with, and as Henrik has said, and all the others here, it's about economy. So this app is also prepared for this digital market thinking, how off-takers and farmers can communicate about seeds and crops and so forth, and get local pricing, local buying, local selling going. And with this data as well, as part of the irrigation data, it will be a wheel of increased turnovers for local economy, the more growing economy in Africa, hopefully in the food industry and the supply chain of all of these goods and groceries. So in a nutshell, this online system with all this real-time data It will provide data for all the partners, the off-takers, the farmers, and the data will also help everyone to understand how this ecosystem that we build together can even increase the farmers' possibility to grow. As I heard another speaking, that gives them an opportunity to really grow, both selling, buying, but also growing their production with more efficient and modern technology. So thanks for us at Youmoni, and back to Kenya and the other speakers that comes after me. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Elisa Petrova, and I'm a senior manager within the climate team at Deloitte Stockholm. Sweden has signed multiple carbon credit agreements under Article 6 of the Paris Agreement. One such country has been with Kenya. We have been working on investigating a model for enabling Spowdi's solar-powered irrigation systems to reach more farmers across Africa. We have noticed that the agricultural sector stands for a large amount of emissions across Africa, and particularly using diesel-powered pumps has been one of these sources. And we believe that Spowdi can support in enabling the abatement of emissions and smarter farming.
So the transformation is ongoing, but the clock is ticking and it must speed up. So I'd like to invite Henrik to see if there's any final words.
So going back to the topic of this event, so how can irrigation become one of the most scalable investment opportunities in East Africa? I don't know if we agree now, but we really believe it will become scalable when it's structured as a service rather than a product. That is one thing. Secondly, when farmers' income is directly linked to investor returns, is of extreme importance. And when technology, financing, and market access are integrated into one commercial model. What we have seen today, I hope you understand, is not just theoretical, it's happening. But it's not happening in the speed it should, and it's not happening in the scale it should. We are doing what we can. We have the factory, but we need more partners to put in more purchase order to produce more technology. It's already implemented and it's contracted already. So for us, this is a repeatable revenue-generating infrastructure model. And I would say it's not just a business opportunity for the farmer. I think we can agree if they success, it will be a great business opportunity for all of us. So with that, I would like to say thank you for joining, all friends here in Nairobi. Pleasure having you here. Take care, everyone. Be safe. And for now, goodbye. I hope we meet soon again. Thank you so much.